Good morning, students. Let's continue with our lesson number 4 from Supplementary Readings, Moments in the Kingdom of Fools by A.K. Ramanujan. We have started yesterday up to page number 20 we have completed, where a robber during the day he gets into the rich merchant's house, and as he was robbing, he was carrying out his trade, as it is said, the wall collapsed and it fell on his head and he died on the spot. Now, when his brother came to know about this, he ran to the king and complained, telling that my brother was only doing what was the ancient trade. Now, the wall fell on him and killed him, and merchant is to be blamed, and because he should have built a good and strong wall, and you must punish the wrongdoer and compensate the family for his injustice. Now the king is telling, justice will be done, don't worry. And at once he called the owner of the house. And now what happens when the owner of the house comes? Open your page, the page number 21. Yes, page number 21, when the merchant arrived, the king questioned him, "What's your name?" "Such and such, your highness." "Were you at home when the dead man burgled your house?" "Yes, my lord. He broke in and the wall was weak. It fell on him." The accused pleads guilty. "Your wall killed this man's brother. You have murdered a man. We have to punish you." "Lord," said the helpless merchant, "I didn't put up the wall. It's really the fault of the man who built the wall. He didn't build it right. You should punish him." Let us try to understand what kind of justice is being done to the man who died. How he died, he was a robber, and naturally wall fell on him and he died because he made a hole on the wall, and wall was weak. It fell on him, he died. Now merchant was called to the king, and the king questioned, "What's your name?" first, and naturally he said his name, and then telling, "Were you at home when the man burgled your house?" Burgled your house means when he was robbing. Okay, burgled, burgled. Okay, when he was robbing, were you at home? And this man is telling, "Yes, my lord. Yes, I was there. He broke in. That means he forcefully entered, and the wall was weak. It fell on him." And king is telling, the accused pleads guilty. That means you are guilty. You are found guilty. You are the culprit. You are wrong. Your wall killed this man's brother. Because your wall was weak. You should have built strong. Can you imagine this kind of justice? You see the next sentence. You have murdered a man, he is telling. You have murdered. Yes, where it is? Yes, here it is. You have murdered a man. It's a murder. And we have to punish you. Now this merchant was very helpless. He is telling, "I didn't put up the wall. I didn't build the wall. It is really the fault of the man who built the wall." Do you understand? One who built the wall, his fault it is. I have not built. He didn't build it right. He has not built it rightly, not correctly. You should punish him. Understood? The person who has built the wall. Just try to keep in mind, because here the chains of passing on the blame to one to the other. Now first the merchant is blaming whom? The builder, one who built the wall. Now king is asking, "Who is that?" "My lord, this wall was built in my father's time. I know the man. He is an old man now. He lives nearby." So he doesn't know the name, but then he is telling, "I know he built during my father's time, and I know the man, and by now he is very old and he lives here close by." The king sent out messengers to bring in the bricklayer who had built the wall. They brought him, tied hand and foot, as if he was a robber. They tied him, old man, can you imagine? They tied his hand and foot, and they brought him to the king, the bricklayer, they're saying, one who did the joining the wall. Okay, those days the bricks or the mud, there are people, they would join it with the mud, actually, the bricks. So the bricklayer came. You there, did you build this man's wall in his father's time? Yes, my lord, I did. You see, the king started questioning. Were you the one to build the wall during his father's time? And he says, yes, he accepted. What kind of wall is this that you built? It has fallen on a poor man and killed him. You have murdered him. We have to punish you by death. No, nothing, no other punishment. You will die. That's all, because you have not built the wall properly. Because this poor man is being killed because that wall collapsed on him. And you remember, as if he was doing something great thing. What he was doing? He was robbing. But remember, it is the story of the kingdom of fools. And that this is what the king is ordering, that you will be punished to death. Before the king could order the execution, the poor bricklayer pleaded, please listen to me before you give your orders. It's true, I built this wall and it was no good, but that was because my mind was not on it. I remember very well a dancing girl who was going up and down that street all day with her anklets jingling. And I couldn't keep my eyes or my mind on the wall I was building. You must get that dancing girl. I know where she lives. Just to imagine, my dear students, the third person came here now. He pleaded, this man, this poor old man, before the order of the execution, that means he is to be died. The poor bricklayer pleaded, he requested, pleaded, begging. You please listen to me before you give your orders. Before I die, please listen to me. He is telling. It is true. He accepted that this wall was not built properly. It was not good. Actually, it's not my fault. But it was because of whom? Because why? Because my mind was not on it. My dear students, whenever there is, whatever you do, if mind is not there, that work will not be good. Even if you are studying, my dear students, your mind is somewhere else and you can read the book 10 times, 15 times. Nothing will enter in your mind. Same thing happened to this wall. And this man is accepting that I know it is very bad, because when I was building, my mind was not on it. I remember very well a dancing girl. Who is the cause? You see, the dancing girl. There was a girl there who was going up and down the street all day with her anklets jingling. What is the anklets? Those payal we are calling, they are wearing anklets, the girls. Jingling means that making noise. You see, the girl is wearing this payal, anklets, and going up and down whole day. And naturally he was distracted. This is what he is trying to tell, that he was distracted and I couldn't keep my eyes or my mind on the wall I was building. No attention. I couldn't concentrate because of this girl. I'm telling you, must get that dancing girl. I know where she lives. Because of her it has happened. You must call her also, not only me. And I know where she lives. You are right. The case deepens. We must look into it. It is not easy to judge such complicated cases. Let's get that dancer, wherever she is. You see, for king, it is a complicated cases. In today's, when we have to see in reality, is it a complicated cases? Not at all. It was a robber, he died, finish. But here it is becoming complicated cases because it is a kingdom of fools. Telling case is going deeper and deeper. It's like the case deepens because one is blaming the other. Merchant blame this bricklayer. Now bricklayer is blaming whom? The dancing girls. Telling it is such a complicated cases for king. He is telling it is very complicated, not easy to judge. Let's get that dancer, is telling, wherever she is. The dancing girl, now an old woman, came trembling to the court. Trembling means shivering, frightened. King is calling, that means they know not for giving award. It was for some punishment, something mistake you have done. That's why she is called. Now the bricklayer also had become old. Now this dancing woman also, dancing girl also has become an old woman. And he came how? Trembling, shivering, shaking. Did you walk up and down that street many years ago while this poor man was building a wall? Did you see him? King is questioning. Is it true? This is what he meant to say. Is it true that you are walking up and down the street many years ago while this man was building the wall? And did you see him? And she told the truth. Yes, my lord, I remember it very well. Yes, it is true. So, you did walk up and down with your anklets jingling. You were young and you distracted him, so he built a bad wall. You see, you were young, and with your anklets jingling, with that making noise, you are walking up and down, and you distracted him. And so he built a bad wall. Now, you all don't start blaming that, yes, somebody disturbing, that's why I am not able to concentrate. You cannot blame. You should concentrate on what you are doing. Yes or no? And this old man is blaming this girl. And the king also. Can you imagine? The king also is blaming this girl. It is your fault. Next page. It has fallen on a poor burglar and killed him. You have killed an innocent man. You will have to be punished. Can you imagine who is innocent man here? The robber. Poor burglar. Burglar is a robber. Another word for robber, okay? Burglar. Sorry. Burglar is a robber. And you have killed him. He is telling you have killed an innocent man. Was he an innocent in our understanding? Not at all. You will have to be punished. Who has to be punished? This old woman. She thought for a minute and said, My lord, wait. I know now why I was walking up and down that street. I have a reason why I was walking. I had given some gold to the goldsmith to make some jewelry for me. He was a lazy scoundrel. He made so many excuses, said he would give it now and he would give it then, and so on all day. He made me walk up and down to his house a dozen times. That was when this bricklayer saw me. It's not my fault, my lord. It's the damned goldsmith's fault. You see, this lady, this woman is talking now. Wait, my lord. I remember now. Wait for a minute. And she gave the reason why she was walking up and down. Why she was walking up and down the street? She had given some gold to the goldsmith to make some jewelry. You see, the reason is giving why she was walking, to make something. But that lazy scoundrel means it's a dishonest man. Scoundrel. It's a dishonest, something not sincere. He was very lazy. He was giving so many excuses. Now also you give even simple, you give one dress to stitch somewhere. They will tell you, come after 2 days. Then when after 2 days, if you go, they will tell, come tomorrow. If you go tomorrow, they will tell, come in the evening. And it will lot of excuses they will give. Even now it is happening. And so this lady is telling, he was very lazy, and so he would give excuses. He would tell, come, you see it now, and then he would give it then, and so on all day. Telling, come tomorrow, come tomorrow. This is what he was doing. He made me walk up and down to his house a dozen times. Dozen times and many times. Dozen is 12 times, but then here it is a many times. I had to walk a dozen of times means many times. That was when this bricklayer saw me. That is why I was walking up and down. It's not my fault, my lord, he is telling. It's the damned goldsmith's fault. It's that curse, damned, we call damned is a cursing word. It's a damned goldsmith's fault. It is goldsmith's fault, it is not my fault. Poor thing, she is absolutely right, thought the king. Weighing the evidence, we have got the real culprit at last. Get the goldsmith, wherever she is hiding, at once. The king's bailiff searched for the goldsmith, who was hiding in a corner of his shop. When he heard the accusation against him, he had his own story to tell. You see here. Remember again, who was the first culprit? The rich merchant. Rich merchant blamed whom? The poor bricklayer. Bricklayer blaming the woman, the girl. Okay. And now this girl is blaming the goldsmith. Now this goldsmith was called, and king is very happy, saying, we have got the real culprit at last. He thought it is the last, but remember, he will not be the last. Get that goldsmith wherever he is hiding at once. And the king's bailiff searched for the goldsmith. Bailiff meaning the officials. Okay, the king's officials. That is the bailiff. Okay, here where it is. Yeah, it is here. Bailiff is a bailiffs. Is an officials. They searched for the goldsmith, and he was hiding in the corner of his shop. And when he heard the accusation against him, accusation means blame, accusation to accuse, make him the person a cause for the wrong. Against him, he had his own story to tell. He told his story. You see, my lord, he said, I am a poor goldsmith. It's true I made this dancer come many times to my door. I accept it. I gave her excuses because I couldn't finish making her jewelry before I finished the rich merchant's orders. They had a wedding coming and they wouldn't wait. You know how impatient rich men are. You see what is the cause why he was making this dancer, this woman come up and down dozen of times, because he could not finish making the jewelry because he had taken the order from this rich merchant as well, because they had a wedding in the house. And so this, he's telling the rich man, whom, even today, the people whom they give first preference, the rich people, the politicians, the leaders, they will give, even if they last minute, if you will go, your work will be done before, but then common people, poor people's work will be done last, because they have no voice, they cannot fight. And it is quite reality, okay, it is quite reality, it's quite understandable. Even today's world also we see these things happening. And telling, that's why I was making this dancer come up and down so many times, because in their house there was a wedding, and you know how impatient these rich men are. Impatient means they are all, no patience they have. Who is this rich merchant who kept you from finishing this poor woman's jewelry, made her walk up and down, which distracted this bricklayer, which made a mess of his wall, which has now fallen on an innocent man and killed him? Can you name him? You see, this is what he asked. Who is this rich merchant who kept you from finishing this poor woman's jewelry? That means you had to make this woman walk up and down, which was the reason for this bricklayer who was distracted, and he made a mess of his wall. He did not make properly, and because of that, that wall fell on this innocent man and killed him, that robber. Can you name him? He says. Can you give the name of that rich merchant? We'll continue tomorrow. Read up to here and try to understand the story. Thank you, students.